Hi everybody, it's David Porter, and here is a follow-up video on post-traumatic stress disorder. This video I want to focus on how PTSD is treated. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is very amenable to treatment by cognitive behavioral therapy and rational emotive behavioral therapy. The two are really, really close, by the way, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. For the sake of, to be concise, I'm just going to call it CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of psychotherapy focused on examining your thought patterns, examining your thought content, identifying thought content and patterns which are maladaptive and dysfunctional, and seeing them as a burden, seeing them as something that weighs you down, holds you back, keeps you from succeeding, keeps you from being happy, keeps you from pursuing your goals. It's dead weight. Then the next step is you become willing to discard these thoughts and replace them with new thinking, which is functional and adaptive and conducive to success, and also just a lot more comforting for real, because part of maladaptive thinking is a false comfort of denial and complacency and indifference, and you're not helping yourself in the long run that way. It feels better short term, but it's no good long term. You don't solve problems that way. You don't fix anything that way. It's false comfort, counterfeit comfort and happiness. Get the real thing. It's much, much more valuable. This is probably not the best place to make a video. There's a lot of traffic, but this is the time I have, and it's a nice bright day, and so the lighting is good, so this is time to make a video. Alright, treatment of PTSD with cognitive behavioral therapy. Part of the other parts of the treatment will consist of trying out new behaviors and seeing what happens, experiencing new behaviors, trying new behaviors, and experiencing new thoughts and feelings that accompany the new behavior. Part of CBT in treating post-traumatic stress disorder is that you are going to be gradually exposed to the anxiety-producing associations, the people, places, or things that produce anxiety. Gradual exposure and replacement of the aforementioned fight, flight, freeze response that I covered in another video with a feeling of relaxation or confidence or perhaps even indifference. This is something that requires repeated trials because you're unlearning conditioned behaviors, and that's going to take time. It won't happen quickly. You can also benefit from integrating the experience, whatever the trauma was, whether it was one acute episode or repeated insults over time. Post-traumatic stress disorder can be managed through integration. You accept that this was a very bad hour in your life, or it was they were very bad years in your life. It's done now. You're not there anymore. You're not in that time. You're not in that place. Accept that it happened. You don't try to forget it. You can't forget it. You don't forget it and move on. That's such bullshit. Closure is bullshit. No. It was an experience you had, and it changed you, and if you resist that change, you're going to suffer. Instead, you have to work towards accepting that change and integrating whatever happened to you as a part of your life experience so that you can move forward, so it no longer holds you back. It's going to be something you carry, but it's not going to be an anchor that holds you back, or it's not going to be a restraint that binds you. What do I mean by that? Here's what I'm talking about. And consider this reframe. PTSD can be a gift. Yes, you heard what I said. You heard me correctly. I'll say it again. PTSD can be a gift. What am I talking about? Because I already hear the outrage in the background. Why are you outraged? Because someone said post-traumatic stress disorder is a gift. Why why do you want to hold on to it? Why do you want to hold on to the pain? This could be a way to let go of the pain. When I say that PTSD can be a gift, here's what I'm talking about. You have a built-in alarm system. Everyone does. But yours is set at a much different tolerance than the average person. You are not naive. You are acutely aware of your surroundings at all times. Your senses are highly attuned. You're going to detect danger before other people can, or other members of your group can. Maybe this is the reason for PTSD. It could be an evolutionary mechanism where a member of the group is going to be highly sensitized to threat detection and ambiguous sensory stimuli, where they are going to react and be able to get the attention of the group before the threat is upon them and it's too late to respond. Maybe. That's evolutionary psychology, which is all post hoc theory, seeing as there are no cavemen available to interview today. So, here's another thing I'm talking about. Here's where I depart from the traditional mainstream methods of treating PTSD. Traditional method is, okay, you have anxiety being in a public place. Your assignment this week is to go to a cafe and sit with your back to the room, and live and start moving into the world of possibility versus probability, or probability versus possibility. The chances of you being attacked in a public place in broad daylight are very low. So let's practice sitting with that discomfort. I don't tell people to do that. I ask people, when you go out in public, here's your assignment: go out in public, go to a cafe, and find the safest place in the cafe. And if that means you sit in the corner with your back to a wall, then you go ahead and do that. You sit near an exit, you go ahead and do that. You don't cross your feet because it will slow your reaction time. Then sit with your feet apart and you're flat on the floor. You need to scan the room and especially observe new people that come in, kind of check their energy, their vibe, to see if they're a threat. Then that's what you do. You go ahead and do that. A lot of traditional treatment for PTSD wants to take away your survival skills. They want to take away the conditioning which has been probably implanted in you, might be the word, and diminish your feeling of safety, what little feeling of safety you may have left. I don't operate that way. Here's another thing too, another maxim, another caveat when giving psychotherapy for post-traumatic stress disorder. You don't go there until you're good and ready, and your therapist thinks you're good and ready. You don't go there till you're sober for a while. You don't go there if you're suicidal, and you don't talk about it until you are darn good and fucking ready. Because I have seen bad therapists force people to talk about their trauma, and the results have not been good. The results have been people have gone into a brief psychotic episode. People have gone on a week-long bender with Jim, Jack, and Jose. People have become suicidal. This is what can happen when you are forced to relive those memories. So no, you do it when you are good and ready and your therapist concurs that you're good and ready, no matter how long it takes. That's my opinion. All right, everyone, thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too noisy with all the traffic going by. Like I said, this is about the only time I have available to make a video, so I have to use this time. All right, thank you for watching, and please hit subscribe, and also go ahead in the comment section if there are any other topics on behavioral science you're interested in, pretty much anything to do with psychology, criminology, substance abuse, mental health, personal growth and development. Please leave it in the comment section and I will consider making a video about it. Everyone be safe.